The Rob Carson Show is presented by Chapter, Medicare Guidance Simplified.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show, and thank God it's Monday. I got to tell you, thank God it is Monday. What a weekend I had. Oh, my goodness, oh, my goodness, oh, my goodness. Went into town, into Washington, D.C., and took some friends in there, went and saw the Cherry Blossom Parade and everything, and then went into the Museum of American History and saw Dorothy's slippers and everything, and Archie Bunker's chair and all that, and then went out on the town, and then yesterday went to an Orioles baseball game, and got to sit in the front row, on first baseline, first time in my entire life. Got to sit in the front row at a major league game, and they hit a home run in the first inning, and my date was just thrilled. It was her first major league game, first time at an American sporting event. She's lived here for 27 years. She's originally from Sierra Leone, and so it was something else. I mean, it was something, and I'm exhausted. To be quite honest, I'm exhausted. I was like, all I got to do is a radio and TV show this week. Oh, that's fantastic. That's easy. I'm going to tell you more about the visit to Washington, D.C., the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good was, the city is beautiful. The city is clean as friggin' Disney World. My friends from Pittsburgh said, oh, my God, you didn't know cigarette butts? Nothing. The only annoying thing I saw was all the idiot posters, hands off Iran. They got all these little power stations on the corners and light posts. These morons who were paid for by George Soros, they put up the stupid stickers. It's their way of marking their territory, kind of like peeing on the fire hydrant there. And it's just annoying as hell, to be quite honest. It's really annoying. But I'm going to tell you, a patriotic and wonderful weekend in Washington, D.C. I don't think anybody saw this coming, by the way.
The U.S. blockade of Iranian ports is now in effect after a 10 a.m. deadline announced by President Trump. We know, according to U.S. Central Command, the blockade will be enforced impartially against vessels of all nations entering or departing Iranian ports and coastal areas.
No trade for you.
Now, the Iranians have threatened a response against U.S. Navy vessels.
With what? One of your boats that's on the bottom of the Straits of Hormuz or in the bottom of the ocean?
Vessels in the Persian Gulf.
Yeah.
And also, they've threatened to close the Bab al-Mandab Strait, which is the gateway to the Red Sea.
The Bab al-Mandab Strait? What?
They could do this using Houthi forces in Yemen, a major proxy of the Iranian regime. Major questions remain about how this blockade will be implemented.
Imagine.
And the consideration of mines that were laid by the Iranian regime during Operation Epic Fury. So a lot of moving parts here, but again, at this moment, the U.S. Navy blockade of Iranian ports is now in effect, and the region is waiting to see if and how the Iranians will respond to this move.
And if they try to respond in a military fashion, we will bomb the bloody snot out of them. There you go. And all the Democrats can do is say, we're going to remove him from the 25th Amendment, and all this and that. Honestly, I'm just so done. I'm so done with you Democrats, you nonsense, to be quite honest. This was something that nobody expected. J.D. Vance went over there, had a big old meeting with the Iranians, the few living ones who haven't been converted into cardboard figurines, and he came back and he had this to say, which was not good.
Well, good morning, everybody, and let me say a couple of notes of appreciation. First of all, to the Prime Minister of Pakistan and to Field Marshal Munir, who were both incredible hosts. And whatever shortcomings in the negotiation, it wasn't because of the Pakistanis, who did an amazing job and really tried to help us and the Iranians bridge the gap and get to a deal. We have been at it now for 21 hours, and we've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. Mm-hmm. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement.
Nope.
And I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America.
Because they're going to go boom, boom.
So We go back to the United States, having not come to an agreement. We've made very clear what our red lines are, what things we're willing to
Yeah, unlike Barack Obama, who drew red lines, they just walked right over them.
accommodate them on, and what things we're not willing to accommodate them on. And we've made that as clear as we possibly could, and they have chosen not to accept our terms.
I love the fact that
Questions?
their pride and hubris are going to basically result in their demise. And this, this is actually a good thing. But it's over 6 weeks, he said, 4 to 6 weeks. That's a forever war. No, it's not. Shut up. We did I'm just talking to people who are saying that. I'm not talking to you guys. I got little voices in my head. Anyway, but literally last week, in the 6th week, Donald Trump got a ceasefire. So and they were B-wording and whining about it and all this, and they said it was, never going to happen and all this, and the only way to get him to a ceasefire is to negotiate or whatever. And then by Thursday, there was a ceasefire. So basically, part of this, half of this 6 weeks that we've been there has been with the ceasefire. And what are they doing? They're effing around and they're finding out. They're effing around and they're finding out. Maria Bartiromo talked to the president yesterday, and he gave you a hint of what he's going to do.
Show this morning saying that we will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz. And at some point, we will reach an all being allowed to go in and all being allowed to go out basis. Right. So tell us what you're trying to accomplish with this blockade,
all in,
sir.
All out. Yep, it's called all in and all out.
All in and all out. I like that.
There'll be a time when we'll have them all come in and all come out, but it won't be a percentage. It won't be a friend of yours, like a country that's your ally or a country that's your friend. It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
And that won't be in too long a distance. No, we're just bringing the ships up. We got a lot of ships, so we're bringing them up. Yep. We think that numerous countries are going to be helping us with this also, but we're putting on a complete blockade. We're not going to let Iran make money on selling oil to people that they like and not people that they don't like or whatever it is. It's going to be all or none, and that's the way it is. And it'll be, you saw what we did with Venezuela. It'll be something very similar to that, but at a higher level.
And Mr. President,
because everybody's complaining that Donald Trump was going to bomb them out of existence and to destroy their civilization and all that, and their culture, which the Ayatollah already did starting in 1978. And so Donald Trump is not bombing the power stations. Donald Trump is not, bombing the, electoral whatever, or the bridges, I should say. He's not. There you go. You should be happy. I hate to tell you this, but sending out children at the end of a barrel of a rifle to stand around a power station is you can't do that when you're blockading ships. So Donald Trump is cutting off all trade with Iran. So basically, you get nothing. You can't trade it in that thing, and your economy is going to die. There you go. This is the great Brigitte Gabriel with a wonderful perspective on Newsmax.
And that's exactly why he is winning the war against Iran. Yeah. Iran thought they're going to checkmate President Trump on this one. He ended up checkmating them by putting the block.
I would call this is a pretty big checkmate.
They on the Strait of Hormuz. He understands how they think. He is not going to budge. He knows.
But he tweeted a truth. The picture of him is Jesus in a response to the leftist Pope that we have, and who cares?
Have the upper hand. That was basically the last card that the Iranians played. They thought they can have the
How else you going to get back at the Pope? I mean, if you want to you really just want to troll the hell out of the Pope, who, by the way, is, very left of center Pope, not uncommon for the leadership of the Roman Catholic Church. But what are you going to do? There you go. So, honestly, really, is it really bugging you that badly? Is it really, really bugging you? Did you expect anything less, for crying out loud?
United States and the world by blocking the Straits of Hormuz, and they ended up failing, and we ended up with the upper hand. I think this war is going exactly the way we want it to go. We are coming up with the best options for this war. This is actually better. Doing the blockade is actually better than us taking Karg Island. It is safer for us.
Wow.
We can secure it much better. We cannot secure Karg Island. So this is the best way.
No boots on the ground.
And we're making money at the end of the day anyway. This is a win-win for America, zero for Iran.
Yeah, and then you're going to get all sorts of oil from America being sold all over the world because Iran can't trade and all that stuff. That's pretty amazing. that's a pretty amazing thing that happens here. So we'll see how Iran, responds to this. They don't have much left as far as missiles are concerned. They don't have much left as far as their Navy is concerned or anything. So about 95% of their capacity to launch missiles is completely gone. So we will see. This is a little checkmate by Donald Trump. We've got much more on this coming up on the show. Also, Gordon Chang is going to join us shortly on the show to talk about this, what it's going to mean, because China does a lot of trade with Iran. They get a lot of their oil from Iran and all of that. So, again, you've got this kind of 3D chess going on around the world. It's not just about Iran. It's also about their proxies. It's also about their friends who are the enemies of America and all of this. But there you go. There you go. We've got another wrinkle in this fight with Iran that I think ultimately will end up in the people of Iran walking free for the first time in 47 years. All right, so that's coming up. Also, General Blaine Holt joins us to talk about this, put it in perspective. Your calls are welcome here at 800-922-6680. This is a Monday edition of The Rob Carson Show. This fall, you're invited to experience Washington, D.C. in a truly unforgettable way with me, Rob Carson, and other Newsmax listeners. Imagine strolling through our nation's capital as America celebrates 250 years and seeing history come alive with an expert guide. Together, we'll tour the White House Visitor Center, step into the halls of democracy with a guided tour of the U.S. Capitol building, visit Arlington National Cemetery and the changing of the guard, stand in awe before the towering figure of President Abraham Lincoln, and take in the beauty of D.C.'s legendary memorials with a special nighttime illumination tour. Our adventure includes premium hotel accommodations for 4 nights in the heart of D.C., in addition to 6 meals, ground transportation, guides, and gratuities. Space is limited, so don't wait. Visit travelwithrob.net to book your D.C. getaway today, or give our friends at Cruise and Tour a call at 800-383-3131. That's 800-383-3131 or travelwithrob.net. Hey guys, it's Carson. You know my signature phrase, don't catch the stupid. When it comes to Medicare, that's easier said than done. Medicare is overly complex with thousands of plans, hidden gotchas in the fine print, and rules nobody really explains to you. Many people just pick something and hope for the best. That's why you need to know about Chapter. They're the only advisor that looks at every plan in the country, matches your doctors, your prescriptions, and your situation to a plan that fits your needs. When your call with Chapter is done, you know your doctors are covered. Your prescriptions are matched, and you go from, I hope I did this right, to, I know I did. That, my friends, is peace of mind. A call with Chapter is free for my audience, and there's no pressure to sign up. Call Chapter today. Here's the number, 27 Medicare. That's 27 MEDICARE. 27 Medicare for Chapter. No pressure. What's your excuse? Call 27 Medicare and don't catch the stupid yourself. Call 27 Medicare today.
Then call Priority Tax.
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Relief Factor. There's a reason why at my age I can still crush it at the gym, carry an armchair by myself, or do any home improvement project without pain during or after, and that's Relief Factor. When it comes to supplements, the 2 things that matter most, it works and you trust it. Relief Factor was created by a combat-wounded Vietnam veteran. He decided to become a doctor simply to help people, to heal them. If pain is holding you back, find out why so many people, including me, make Relief Factor a part of their daily routine. Try the 3-week quick start today. Go to ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com. Or call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor. On, shall we? Donald Trump has imposed a complete embargo on the country of Iran. That's kind of a big deal. So you're kind of looking at what the next step was. You know, the Iranians refused to open the Straits of Hormuz, and so what you're thinking, what's going to happen? Is he going to start the bombing again? I was kind of thinking, kind of leading into the bombing a little bit, because they don't want to play along. They're clearly being belligerent. They're being proud, and they're being incredibly, incredibly stupid. And they're effing around and finding out from Donald Trump. So Donald Trump basically says, okay, we'll just shut down your ports, not even going after Karg Island, not putting troops on Karg Island, not enduring any bloodshed trying to take over Karg Island, just shutting down all trade to and from Iran. There you go. I mean, that's pretty amazing, isn't it? Donald Trump was on with Maria Bartiromo over the weekend, because one of the things that he did last week, he got him to come to the table with regard to a ceasefire, because he said he was going to bomb the Iranian civilization out of existence and their culture, which of course we already know that the Ayatollah did 47 years ago. But Donald Trump says that's the language that worked.
Think of it. They're allowed to say death to America, death to this, death to... And I make one statement, they say, oh, such a big deal.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that statement got them to the bargaining table.
It did.
And they haven't left. They haven't left the bargaining table. I predict they come back and they give us everything we want. And I told my people, I want everything. I don't want 90%. I don't want 95%. I told them I want everything.
I love it. I absolutely love it. There you go. And that's what they're going to have to deal with. That's what they're going to have to deal with. Ron Johnson, a Republican, had a perspective on Iran. You know, and again, last week I said, okay, so Donald Trump said he's going to bomb them out of existence, bomb their civilization, bomb them back into the Stone Age. This after 47 years of saying death to America, the great Satan, and promising to wipe us off the planet. And then, of course, let's not forget all the terror attacks, all of the IED technology, all this killing and maiming American soldiers for decades.
First of all, I'm not supportive of the war with Iran, but that's because Iran declared war on America 47 years ago.
100%.
They have blood on their hands of American soldiers, hundreds, probably thousands of them. But it's the Ayatollahs, it's the regime that declared war on America, not the Iranian people. So we're not at war with the Iranian people. We're trying to end the state-sponsored terrorism. We're trying to end the threat, the menace that Iran represents not only to America, but to world security and peace. So
and I'm kind of sick of their crap.
I'm supportive of ending the Iranian regime's ability to threaten world peace and security.
Yeah, you know what? And it's a great thing. It is a great thing, but the Democrat Party hates the fact that it's happening under Donald Trump's watch. That's all there is to it. That's what they hate. This is a guest on CNN this weekend talking about how it's great that Iran is out of business, but hating the fact that, and this guy's name is, who is he? I got to here. Hold on a second. John Fetterman. I got so much audio here. Tom Friedman. And this is the Democrat Party. This is the left. Although people on the left, they aren't willing to say that taking down the Ayatollah is good. They aren't willing to say that the Ayatollah killed 35,000 people in the last, just murdered innocent people for speaking out. 35,000 people, just slaughtered them, mowed them down in the streets. That's what the Ayatollah did. And yet there are people who think Donald Trump is worse than these guys. And here is this Democrat admitting exactly what most Democrats have in their hearts, that they love the fact that Iran is out of commission, but they hate the fact that Donald Trump did it.
Yeah, I find myself, Michael, in a situation where I really want to see Iran defeated militarily, because this regime is a terrible...
Why the hell didn't you do it? Why the hell didn't Barack Obama do it? Why the hell didn't Joe Biden do it?
Terrible regime for its people in the region, and nothing would improve the region more than the replacement of this regime with a regime...
Then why don't you celebrate that? Why don't you celebrate that? Oh, it's because Donald Trump is the only president to do it since the Ayatollah took over.
Iran that was focused on enabling its people to realize their full potential.
Okay, where's your joy? Where's your celebrating with all the marches that were going on in all over the world, including at least 100,000 Iranians and Persians in Washington, D.C. the same weekend they had that stupid No Kings protest. Nobody covered that. Nobody's celebrating with joy the fact that the world is going to be free from this terrorist regime.
Integrating peacefully with other countries and stop occupying Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen. So I'm all for that. The problem is I really don't want to see Bibi Netanyahu or Donald Trump politically strengthened by this war.
Okay, there you go. There you go. They will not celebrate it. They will not admit it was the right thing to do. They will not condemn Iran for murdering so many of its people because Donald Trump did it. Donald Trump had the balls, I said balls, to do it. And here he is just making up crap out of whole cloth about how awful Donald Trump is.
Because they are two awful human beings.
No, they're not.
They're both engaged in anti-democratic projects.
Oh, really? Like, was it like censoring Americans or sicking the Justice Department on Americans and Donald Trump?
In their own countries. They're both alleged crooks.
They're both alleged crooks. Yeah, okay, whatever. Joe Biden had 27 LLCs, got $35 million from the communist Chinese to 9 of his relatives.
Terrible, terrible people.
No, they're not.
Doing terrible things to America's standing in the world.
Okay, go ahead and tell us what. I think it's actually making us look pretty strong in the world.
And Israel standing in the world.
Yeah.
And so I really find myself torn. I want to see Iran militarily defeated, but I do not want to see these two terrible people.
Oh, man, I got to tell you, you are such a despicable human being. You can't even celebrate that we've taken out a regime that just murdered 35,000 people. You can't even celebrate that the world is going to be free from this tick on the back of the world, this tick with tentacles across the entire globe committing acts of terror. Honestly, it is just beyond the pale. But that's your Democrat Party. That's your Democrat Party. Here's John Fetterman. This weekend he was on a podcast talking about supporting me, the only Democrat to support Operation Epic Fury.
Who do you think leads the Democratic Party today?
Listen.
Oh, we don't have one. I think the TDS. I think that's the leader right now. You know, right now our party is governed by the TDS, and now it's made it virtually impossible without being punished as a Democrat to agree something's good. Or I agree with the other side, and I would define that by epic fury. A good thing happens just because it comes from the different party. That tells me that you're choosing the demand of the base or the party over country or what's really, I think, appropriate in that circumstances.
Yeah, that's utterly ridiculous. And now they are willing to throw the U.S. military under the bus and not be proud of their enormous accomplishment at great risk. Unbelievable. We're going to take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show. Hold on. Hey guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here, because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 in the morning on my Ghost Bed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about GhostBed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. GhostBed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new GhostBed. Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Ethos. I've worked very hard to get where I am today. I want the best for my kids. Both of my kids got kind of kicked in the teeth from COVID protocols. My son missed 2 years of college, my daughter high school. A good deal of their lives will be spent making up for time away from classes and friends. When I'm gone, I want them to be able to live a great life and have kids. That's why I have life insurance. This is why you need to purchase life insurance from Ethos. Ethos helps provide financial security. Ethos protects your loved ones. In as little as 10 minutes, you can have life insurance. For me, it was almost instant. All you have to do is answer a few health questions online to get the ball rolling. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get up to $3 million in coverage in as little as 10 minutes. Go to ethos.com/Newsmax. That's the code, ethos.com/Newsmax. Application times and rates may vary. That's ethos.com/Newsmax.
Mom Donnie, a socialist. Mom Donnie, a communist. He's a fan of a muss. His win will be New York's loss. He's an extremist, you bet, as New York's gonna get taxed like never before. When Mom Donnie is done, the city will run every grocery store. He'll defund the police and crime will increase as the murder rate begins to soar. Mom Donnie, anti-Jew, he despises Netanyahu. It is really a sin. New Yorkers voted him in. They'll regret that they helped him win. Mom Donnie, a socialist. Mom Donnie, a communist. He's a fan of a muss. His win will be New York's loss. He's an extremist, you bet, as New York's gonna get taxed like never before. When Mom Donnie is done, the city will run every grocery store. He'll defund the police and crime will increase as the murder rate begins to soar. Mom Donnie, anti-Jew, he despises Netanyahu. It is really a sin. New Yorkers voted him in. They'll regret that they helped him win.
So here's a headline for you. This is Twitter at Republican Party News. 121 empty oil tankers are now en route to the United States now that President Trump has launched a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, actually just the ports of Iran. That's an insane amount of American oil about to be exported to countries around the world. There you go. That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool. Nobody kind of expected that, right? You're thinking, going to resume the bombing, going to go after Carg Island, all of this. Donald Trump says, no, you know what we're going to do? We're going to blockade the ports. Going to blockade their ports. No boots on the ground, just blockade their ports. And this will cripple what is left of Iran's economy. So we'll see how Iran responds to it. They don't have very many missiles left, and they have almost no navy left. They have these little Iranian speedboats, which will be as easy to take out, probably even easier than the narco drug boats out of Venezuela. Of course, the Democrats will probably say, "Oh, they're just Iranian fishermen. They're just Iranian fishermen with 50 cows mounted on their boats. They're just Iranian fishermen. Yeah, whatever." So there you go. I think it's another great master move by Donald Trump, and hopefully will result in the freedom for the Iranian people. Douglas Murray was on with Bill Maher. And from day one, for the first time in recent memory, the American media was immediately demeaning the military operation. No pride in our military, no God bless our troops, no congratulations on anything they've done. Just day one, it's a disaster. That's what Chris Murphy called it. Day one, we killed the Ayatollah. First nation in 47 years to take out the leader of Iran. First day, vaporized him. Chris Murphy calls it a disaster. Then it just got worse after that. You've never heard a single Democrat say this is a good thing. You've never said a single Democrat say, good job, American military. You've never said a single good thing about anything as long as Donald Trump has been the president, even though it has resulted in great things happening, like killing the Ayatollah and the cardboard Ayatollah and getting rid of the terror threat and the nuclear threat from Iran. They said it's a quagmire. It's not a quagmire at all, dear God in heaven. We got a ceasefire the middle of last week. Then they went and talked to Iran again this weekend. They were belligerent. They were, saying they were going to close down the Straits of Hormuz. So Donald Trump says, okay, here's something they are not expecting. I'm going to blockade their ports. Everything going in and everything going out, they're done. They are an island now cut off from the rest of the world. There you go. But Douglas Murray was on with Bill Maher, and Bill Maher is already saying, oh, it's a failure. Really? By what gauge of fail do you look at Operation Epic Fury, considering it's all been successful? How is it a failure? There's no failure going on there. We waxed one of the most powerful militaries in the world. We sunk their entire Navy virtually. We took away 95% of their missile launching capability, missile manufacturing capability. We've taken out 5 versions of the upper echelon of power in the country. By what metric are you saying it's not successful? And here's what Douglas Murray, who, by the way, I love. He's a British comedian, leaning into philosopher, leaning into pundit, and he says, no, it's great.
Once started, you have to finish this.
Let's try it again. Here.
I disagree because I think once started, you have to finish this. Yeah. I don't agree that it's failed. It's been an incredibly successful operation in lots of ways. Supreme leader dead, Iranian Air Force destroyed, nuclear sites attacked again, the navy of the Iranian revolutionary government at the bottom of the ocean. These are not small things. No. It's not the case that the Iranian revolutionary government has come out of this well. I know some people are wanting to say that after 4 to 6 weeks of war, this is some kind of loss for America. It isn't. It's been an amazing strategic success, but everyone wants to know what the outcome.
There you go. It has been an amazing strategic success, and now Donald Trump has added a new wrinkle to it. He's going to choke off the Iranian regime altogether. There you go. That's how he did it. But MS Now, you know what they're doing now? Hold on. MS Now used to be MSNBC. This is all they've got. Are you ready for this? This is all they got right here. The way they talk about the Iranian regime is racist.
Really disturbing in the messaging around the war recently, and Eamon, I really want your thoughts on this in particular, is some of the language and the description of their opponent. Sort of the way they seem to create this image of the Iranians and all of their sort of proxies or allies, the sort of imagery that they conjure up. And I think that it takes a certain amount of arrogance, and I'm also going to say it, a bit of racism to constantly talk about people like they are savages. That is a word that we have heard Hegseth use. Because
you see, they murdered 35,000 of their own people. What would you call them? You know, what do you call them? Buddies? Just honestly, so ridiculous, so ridiculous, so ridiculous. I was mentioning Trump's meme depicting himself as Jesus Christ draws backlash from allies. Well, of course it does. He was trolling the Pope. He was trolling the Pope because the Pope is a typical liberal. I mean, left-leaning liberal, just like the previous Pope. And honestly, I ought to just stay the hell out of politics. JP II was the last Pope who really, spoke the truth and sided with good when it came to international relations, and he actually helped to precipitate the fall of the Berlin Wall and the Soviet Union. But Pope Francis is just a liberal. He probably has a coexist bumper sticker on the back of his Pope mobile, spelled with religious symbols and all that. And so Donald Trump, I'm sorry, Brian, what?
You said Francis, it's Leo.
Oh, I said Francis, didn't I? Francis was before it. Leo. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. I should know this. I'm Catholic, for crying out loud. I'm Catholic. But Leo's just another lib. Leo the lib, and Donald Trump's trolling him. How else you going to would you really want to get under the skin of the Pope, who's spewing nonsense to a billion Catholics so they will not like what Donald Trump is doing in Iran? What are you going to do? You're going to do something like this? I don't care. It doesn't even matter. I was sending out to some friends of mine because today Donald Trump retruthed my post about my Rob Carson's What in the World TV show, because he loves the TV show. Donald Trump loves my TV show, Rob Carson's What in the World, and he retruthed me twice. And I started getting all of this stuff coming in, and all of this kind of, and then every once in a while I get like, well, man, it's really great. Donald Trump retruthed you. How about you tell him not to put up memes about him being Jesus Christ? I said, I don't care about that. If you want to get under the skin of the Pope, who is a liberal Leo, that's what you're going to do. He's an MMA fighter, guys. He doesn't fight with Marcus of Queensberry rules. He's an MMA fighter. And if the Pope's going to mouth off and get into his politics, Donald Trump's going to troll him. And it just causes people's heads to explode. I understand that. I absolutely understand why it makes people's heads explode. But honestly, are you really surprised? If you are, I mean, honestly, wow. By the way, this weekend I went into Washington, D.C., and I saw the Cherry Blossom Parade starting about at the African American Museum, which, by the way, the Museum of African History, one of the most beautiful museums. It's new since I got it. It's beautiful on the outside. Beautiful building. Oh, my gosh. But anyway, it started there, and it went all the way down, the street past the different museums and whatnot. And my friends noticed that the city is that shining city on the hill now. It is absolutely spotless. No litter on the ground. No cigarettes on the ground. Nothing on the ground. No homeless people. No people with shopping carts full of garbage. None of it. And then I went to DuPont Circle. There must have been 1,000 people there. I have never seen DuPont Circle without, grocery carts full of garbage and homeless people. It was 1,000 people sitting in the benches around DuPont Circle, and then people having picnics and throwing frisbees. I've never seen it like that. So this fall, we're doing this trip to Washington, D.C., the 25th to the 29th of October. And I want you to come with me. Okay, I wanted to do a trip with you guys, and I said, Washington, D.C., we're going to get a tour of the White House Visitor Center, the U.S. Capitol, Arlington National Cemetery, changing the guard, go to see the Abraham Lincoln's memorial there, and then, of course, the reflecting pool and the Washington Monument, and it's beautiful. This city is spotless now. You got 6 meals. You've got accommodations, 4 nights in the heart of D.C., ground transportation, guides, and gratuities. Travelwithrob.net. Travelwithrob.net. That's how you do it. Get on it today, okay? Because we're selling out these spots. Or you can call 800-383-3131, 800-383-3131, or travelwithrob.net. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show. Thank you, Brian.
p.m.
It is the Rob Carson Show. Oh, don't worry. We're going to talk about Eric Swalwell. Eric Swalwell, he's done. He's cooked. He's out, man. He is the turkey thermometer. He is out. He is completely finished, over, done. And there's a lot of reasons why the Democrat Party, and this was the easiest give up for them. It was super easy. I mean, you still got Democrats defending, other Democrats who should have been removed from Congress for their behavior. But man, they threw him under the bus. And there's a good reason for it. It all has to do with the governorship of the state of California. So we'll get to that on the show. So I took my friends they're from Pittsburgh, into Washington, D.C., and I got to tell you, I've never felt prouder of my country than I do right now. I lived in the Washington, D.C. area for 12 years. Lived in Germantown, Maryland, about 25 miles north of the district. Drove 25 miles each way for work for 12 years. And I used to go into the city, and I remember DuPont Circle was never really that great. It was always homeless people sitting. They got this circle of benches all the way around it, several concentric circles of benches where hundreds of people can sit. And this weekend, they were filled with people just enjoying the day. Just enjoying the day. There was this little art sale. They had artists and jewelers and whatnot, and all of the tentacles that, the offshoots, the streets from DuPont Circle, because the city was designed after Paris, I guess, essentially, or Rome, kind of a concentric circle, and then the offshoots of the streets and whatnot. And so it was crowded with people. I wore a MAGA hat. I never had a MAGA hat before. I bought it from a street vendor at the Cherry Blossom Parade, and I got two hats. Met two wonderful older women from Georgia. They took a bus up to see the Blossom Parade, and I ended up buying an extra hat. I gave one of them the hat, and I said, I'm sorry I didn't get two, but I wanted you to have one. And I wore the hat around it, and nobody said anything at the Cherry Blossom Parade. In fact, I kept getting all the way, even in DuPont Circle, people going up to me and going, "Hey, nice hat. Because I wasn't going to let people kowtow me or make me feel bad about wearing the hat, which is kind of what I expected. But there were a lot of patriotic hats down there, a lot of conservatives in the D.C. area, and it didn't happen until I got out to the metro. I got on the metro. This black woman, doesn't matter if she's black, but she was. I'm just describing her. She starts screaming at me. You and F and this and that and this and that. And I said, oh, you're a moron. Who cares what you think? I probably would have handled it differently had I had it to do over again. But as it was, I overpowered her verbally, and she scurried off the train. And then this young woman was up there flipping me off and inferring something like, I have a small manhood, right? And I said, oh, you are so mature. I said, you're a child. Get some life experience and grow the hell up. But anyway, if I did do it again, I'm going to whip my camera out. I'm going to videotape them. I'm going to confront them and just, calmly say, really, what's this all about? I'm not going to be. But anyway, it shook me up. I wasn't ready for that. But I got to DuPont Circle. I'm walking around all these artist tents and everything. You're expecting I get every dirty look in the you could possibly imagine. Nothing. And this city looks beautiful. There's no garbage. There's no homeless. You see a homeless every once in a while, but no garbage. No shopping carts full of garbage. None of that. None of them passed out. None of them, on heroin. I mean, really cleaned up the city. Really cleaned up this city. And even my friends, they said, "Wow, this is really remarkable. It's really remarkable." And the people of D.C. are enjoying this. The people of D.C. are enjoying going out in their neighborhoods. I talked to a bunch of people. I said there are kids in Anacostia now who can ride their bikes on the street without getting shot. They could sit out on a stoop and talk with their neighbors without fear of that. You can drive around. I never felt any worry about parking in downtown D.C. Nothing like that. Nothing like that at all. And there were National Guard troops up and down the parade route, standing there, and I shook their hands and I said thank you. There was a whole contingent there from Mississippi there. I saw the park police there. They had their big armored vehicle there. They had a kid sitting up on the hood getting a picture, and then I went over, got a picture, and I told them thank you guys, and they talked about working with the National Guard and all of that, and it was, you know what? This is the thing. This city is clean now. This city is great now. This city's only going to get better. And the people of Washington, D.C. know it. They just don't want to give Donald Trump for it. And I'll tell you the people who really appreciate it and who are leaving the Democrat Party the most, because I spent a lot of time with them the last 2 weeks, and those are black people. Yesterday, I went to a ball game with a woman who left the Democrat Party about a year ago. She used to do knock on doors for Barack Obama, and Joe Biden was a big player in Annapolis. And I took her to the ball game yesterday, and we went out on another excursion a couple weeks ago to Annapolis, and she left, and she was called every name in the book. It was like she had strayed off the Democrat thought plantation, and they sent the dogs after her. She said she was floored. She was called the C word. She was called the N word, even by white people. It was unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is turning on the Democrat Party. All the Democrat Party has right now are old boomers, old ladies, nut job young females, and the emasculated old men that hang with that crowd. That's the Democrat Party. And it's becoming more and more obvious, and I hope that what Donald Trump did to D.C. and Memphis will finally go to Chicago, will finally go to East St. Louis, will finally go to Gary, Indiana, will finally go to Los Angeles, will finally go to San Francisco, and turn this country around, because I'm going to tell you, I am so proud of this city and the way it is right now. It really is that shining city on the hill that it should have been. It's just beautiful here right now. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Birch Gold with the dollar's convertibility into gold. Hold on, guys. All righty. Hello. How are you? Changing the guards is something everybody should witness. You're exactly right, Mo Gig 7. It is Mo MI 67, whatever. It is. It's amazing. It's really, really amazing. Somebody mentioned earlier they wear their Newsmax hat. Good for you. Good for you. I'm not gonna not wear my MAGA hat. Next time I'll respond differently with less cursing, because I was really done when she dropped the F-bomb and said F you. I went to town on her. And I would handle it differently, because honestly, it's really not worth getting worked up when people confront you for wearing a hat. It's absurd. It's absurd. Anyway, DuPont Circle is very fabulous, if you get my drift. Well, yeah, it has been in the past. So yeah, but it's changed. It's changed. I'm not sure if it's still gay guys go to pick each other up there. I don't know, but maybe that's the way it was. I don't know. But when I was here before, I've never seen it look this clean. I never felt like I could walk into DuPont Circle and have a picnic, or even if I'd want to. And it was spotless. I mean, I'm just blown away, man. Blown away. Anyway, it was something else. I hope you guys, if you're considering coming in for the trip in October, you will, because it's going to be amazing. Good will take care of them. Save your energy for blessings. Mega roar. Yay. Thank you, Mickey Hastings. You're right. I wouldn't handle it in an angry fashion next time. It took me by surprise, and it was very threatening. It was very threatening, and I was very upset about it. I'm not going to let that happen again. Here we go. Time for me to talk. 3.5. All right. Okay. Thank you, Brad. I have never, in the time that I'm in Washington, D.C., and I've been here now 13 years, pretty much. It's kind of weird, Iowa boy, living in D.C. for 13 years altogether. I've never, when I was around DuPont Circle, I never wanted to go into DuPont Circle. It's this big park in the middle of all these streets going out. And I never, because it was always homeless people, it was always garbage. And it was joy. I saw baby strollers. It was amazing. I went to an Orioles game yesterday. The only thing I didn't like about it was the jerseys are $175. Are you out of your nut? Are you out of your nut? $175 for a jersey? Are you freaking crazy? But it's an official jersey. I don't care. You're out of your nut. $9 hot dog, $15 French fries. What's crazy about that? What's crazy about sitting in the front row on the first base line? And I got on the jumbotron. You always wonder what would happen if you got on the jumbotron. I look up. I'm like, oh my God, I look like hell. But I'm on the jumbotron, so I started going crazy. It was really cool. It was really cool. And I'm going to tell you something about Orioles fans. A lot of conservatives there. My date and a good friend of here named Tim Fazenbaker, who's a politician running for office here, he said he heard people talking about me, the Rob Carson show. People recognize me. Tim was sitting next to this girl, probably in her 20s. She's from Frederick, Maryland, and he was talking about Rob Carson over here. And she goes, oh, my God, I listen to Rob Carson all the time. And can I get a picture? So I got a picture with her. I posted on social media. Her name is Lauren. And there's just a lot of conservatism in baseball. A lot of the young men playing baseball right now are conservatives. A lot of young Gen Z men are turning in that direction, which is pretty cool. And I got to tell you, I just the people of Baltimore. I've always loved Baltimore. I wish that Donald Trump could send National Guard troops into Baltimore because they've killed the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. The Democrats have destroyed it. Wes Moore, this idiot mayor of Baltimore, have ruined it. All the business is gone. All of the joy that was for the Inner Harbor should be crowded with tens of thousands of people every single weekend. But they've killed it. Donald Trump brings in the National Guard. Georgetown, you got 100 people waiting to cross the walk in Georgetown because it's so crowded. You got DuPont Circle that is completely crowded. You had hundreds of thousands of people in town for the parade. I'm going to tell you, I do not give up. Okay, overwhelm them with joy, patriotism, and faith. It's working. It's working. All right, Eric Swalwell. So much goodness coming up on the second hour of the Rob Carson Show, and Gordon Chang as well. Don't go anywhere.
No blind rhetoric.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax. Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think. They let me decide.
Real news for real people.
about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show. Hello, it's Monday. Welcome to it. There's a lot of stuff happening right now. Donald Trump has basically imposed a complete embargo on all traffic, all shipping going to and from Iran. So there you go. That's what you do. They wanted to F around and find out. They didn't follow the rules of the ceasefire and open up the Straits of Hormuz. So Donald Trump says, okay, fine. We'll just shut down all trade from and to Iran. There you go. We'll talk about this with Gordon Chang at the bottom of the hour. You know, China's big friends with Iran, and this won't end well for them. Also, I heard reports that 120 empty tankers were headed to America to get filled up with sweet American crude oil to take to their countries and all of that. Because you know what, we are energy independent. Isn't it weird? Do you remember, when the Middle East basically held the world hostage with regard to the flow of oil? OPEC was always turning off the spigot, raising the price. When Jimmy Carter was the president of the United States, they did that and caused massive gas lines, oil lines, and gas lines essentially in America and all of that. And that's not happening anymore. That's not happening anymore. Obviously, the conflict has brought the price of oil up. Did you expect anything less? Joe Biden did it by green energy nonsense and spending money we didn't have and blowing up the size of the government, printing money. That's how he did it. And then, of course, got the war started between Russia and Ukraine, which has been going on for over 4 years. So there is that. I want to play some good news right now. So I guess it was Friday night we were out, my friends and I were out, and we were hanging in this restaurant, and we looked up and we saw something we haven't seen in a while, and that is a capsule of astronauts landing in the sea off the coast of California. And that was the Artemis crew landing successfully after the going the furthest from the Earth. Any man is gone, any human being is gone, and a round trip of 700,000+ miles. It's the longest people have flown before. So it's pretty remarkable. Although, there have been people in orbit who technically have flown more. But anyway, it was the furthest we'd been from Earth, and it was an amazing thing. And I noticed last week that this Victor Glover, who's an astronaut on the craft, before they disappeared behind the dark side of the moon for the first time, and all contact was cut off from them, from humanity, from Earth, from the space capsule that we call Earth. And he thanked God. And I was thinking to him, there's a reason why America exists, and I believe it's because God has blessed us. I know I don't like to bang the Bible or anything, but we were the first country to acknowledge that our rights come from God and not from man. And so when Victor Glover said that as he went around the far side of the moon, you kind of wonder what the communist Chinese would have said if they were the first. They would have probably thanked the dear leader or the party. Without a doubt, it would have been that. Or the former Soviet Union. Did you ever hear them thanking God? Did you ever hear any Russian cosmonauts talking about God in space when the Soviet Union was around? No, you don't. And this is pretty. It's pretty cool. And here's Victor Glover. He was at they did a presser with all the astronauts, and here's one of the things he said at this presser this weekend.
When this started on April 3rd. I wanted to thank God in public, and I want to thank God again, because even bigger than my challenge trying to describe what we went through, the gratitude of seeing what we saw, doing what we did, and being with who I was with, it's too big to just be in one body.
It's amazing. He's a really remarkable man. I just grabbed this off of social media. There were some people. Victor Glover was in his driveway, I guess, and they were driving by, and he said a few things about God. Nope, he didn't. Never mind. I'll just go ahead and go past that. Meanwhile, here is Mark Kelly. Mark Kelly is, the guy who was telling the military to disobey Donald Trump's orders. Mark Kelly is a former astronaut and basically hyper negative, hates Donald Trump, will not say anything good about Donald Trump. But he was at this National Action Network nonsensical convention this weekend. It's Al Franken's, Weird Al Franken's big racist charity and event. It's like the CPAC for morons who are racist. But anyway, Mark Kelly, he talked about how terrible it would be if there were an entire crew of white guys on a craft.
When you're the commander, you get some say in who your other crew members are going to be. So the last thing I would want in a space shuttle crew would be 7 white guy, U.S. Navy, test pilots like me. It would be a disaster.
Why exactly would it be a disaster? This is just pure pandering. I mean, honestly, I'd be insulted. You know, he goes to the National Action Network and he says, oh, you know, the last thing that all you people of color would want is I certainly would not like to see an all-white crew like me. What? Who cares? Who cares? Honestly, it's ridiculous. I was talking about, white people. White people is really a construct. And AOC actually said it a few weeks ago. It's the only kind of smart thing she's ever said. But you think about it: Irish, English, German, Dutch, Swiss, Italian, Slavic, Armenian, Polish, Hungarian, Latvian, Lithuanian, Czech, Greek, Croatian, Serbian, Swedish, Turkish, Georgian, Estonian, Bulgarian, Portuguese, Albanian. That's the diversity of white people. And honestly, it doesn't matter. Of all the things that he could say after that glorious speech by Victor Glover, he panders to black people with pablum. Honestly, I would just be so upset. And like I said, I've spoken to a lot of people of color since moving here. I've hung out with a lot of black people since I moved here. Met some really cool people. Went out on a date with this woman who just happens to be a person of color. And you know what? I don't care what color. It never mattered to me. But she talked about the Democrat Party, and she talked about how badly she was treated when she left the Democrat Party. And more and more people are getting it. More and more people are starting to understand. And more and more people like Mark Kelly are disappearing into oblivion. They see your tricks, okay? Mark, they see your tricks, Democrat Party. They're not fooled anymore by you. They know you've only used black people for their votes and then discard them after the election. They get it. It's coming. It's big. It's big. It's big. When the dollar convertibility into gold ended in 1971, it was fixed at $35 an ounce. Don't you wish you would have had some at $35 an ounce? Because it's gone up 12,000% since then. Yeah. Meanwhile, the dollar has lost 85% of its purchasing power. So gold has gone up in value dramatically. Our government spends and prints money like it's going out of style, and consequently, everything's more expensive. Central banks are buying gold at record levels. Big firms like Vanguard and BlackRock have significant stakes in gold. Why don't you learn a little more? Right now, Birch Gold has announced their Learn and Earn Precious Metals event. It's going on all month through the end of the month, through the 30th of this month. And they're going to provide you rewards for learning the basics of investing in precious metals. No pressure. They just want to teach you why it's good to have some in your portfolio. I got my money with Birch Gold, or a good share of it anyway. Sign up to get free silver on your next purchase, and all you got to do is get signed up. Here's how you do it. It's the same old, same old. Text my name, Rob, to 989898. Rob to 989898 to join Birch Gold's Learn and Earn Precious Metals event by April 30th. Text Rob to 989898 today for Birch Gold. So, Eric Swalwell, we all knew he was an extreme scumbag. There have been all sorts. We knew it because he was having sex with Fang Fang, Chitty Chitty Fang Fang. Remember that? Yeah. So we know that that he was kind of a sleazebag pretty much, and so now he's in a whole lot of trouble. We have this is our new sound effect we're using when we talk about Eric Swalwell. Eric Swalwell being held accountable. He is being accused of by many women of sexual dalliances. Over 50 former staffers of Eric Swalwell have called for his resignation following a series of sexual assault and misconduct allegations. You know what I find very interesting? Just a month or so ago, the Congress voted against publicizing the money that they've paid to settle sexual harassment suits by congressmen. They sealed it so we can't know who got paid and who did the sexual dalliances. That's how sickening they are. Meanwhile, just a couple months ago, I had to sit through an hours-long video presentation about sexual harassment where I had to be quizzed after every video segment, and I worked by myself. That's the lunacy of this entire movement. It started with Clarence Thomas. I never understood how you could not understand what is acceptable and what is unacceptable sexual behavior at work. But unfortunately, even in 2026, you have evil, awful people like Eric Swalwell going after young women, ruining their careers, ruining their lives, allegedly. I've got details coming up on this, why he was forced out, why the Democrat Party is not standing by him, even though they stand by everybody else. That's all coming up. This is The Rob Carson Show.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated market.
Hey guys, it's Carson. If you are on Medicare or about to be, you could be overpaying right now and never know it. Here's why. Millions of seniors are in a plan that doesn't fit their needs. Because Medicare is complicated, many brokers just steer people into plans that pay them the most. That's absurd. That is so absurd, I decided to write a little slogan for it. Medicare sure ain't fair, and choosing a plan is a bear. Pick a plan with a broker if you dare, and you might end up with a scare. Okay, listen, it's a little rough. You need to know about Chapter. They're the only national advisor that looks at every plan in the country, matches your doctors, your prescriptions, and your situation to a plan that fits your needs. With Chapter, you'll see what a plan actually costs when you need it, not just the $0 some plans advertise. Your doctors are covered and your prescriptions are too. You'll have confidence you have the coverage you need. A call with Chapter is free, takes about 20 minutes. If you're turning 65 or are already on Medicare, call 27 Medicare. Again, that's 27 MEDICARE. Call 27 Medicare today. Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Relief Factor. There's a reason why at my age I can still crush it at the gym, carry an armchair by myself, or do any home improvement project without pain during or after, and that's Relief Factor. When it comes to supplements, the two things that matter most, it works and you trust it. Relief Factor was created by a combat wounded Vietnam veteran. He decided to become a doctor simply to help people, to heal them. If pain is holding you back, find out why so many people, including me, make Relief Factor a part of their daily routine. Try the 3-week quick start today. Go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com, or call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
Quick question for all the people mad at Donald Trump for calling that reporter a piggy.
Yeah.
Would you prefer to be called her Hitler, racist, rapist, pedo, dictator, fascist? Would you have preferred one of those?
And nobody ever called Eric Swalwell that, even though he's a complete scumbag. 50 former staffers have called for resignations. A letter, open letter, described the allegations. Quote, the allegations reported by the San Francisco Chronicle and CNN are serious, credible, and demand accountability. We stand unequivocally with our colleague who showed extraordinary courage in coming forward to share her truth. We believe her. Believe her? Remember that? Both CNN and the Chronicle reported that a former staffer accused the California gubernatorial candidate of sexual assault, saying the two had sexual relations after a night of drinking, believed that she could not have the mental capacity to consent. 3 other women also told CNN that Swalwell would send unprompted nude photos and graphic messages. Who does that? Who does that? You know, what the heck? Really? What has been described as not a political attack is the account of a young woman who trusted her employer was targeted and exploited by someone in a position of power over her and who has carried this burden for years. The corroboration reported by both outlets, including medical records and multiple witnesses, makes clear that this cannot be dismissed or deflected. No statement, no cease and desist order, and no claim of political motivation changes what our colleague experienced. After calling for a full investigation into the matter, the former staffers ultimately concluded that Swalwell should not only drop from the California governor's race, but also resign from Congress. And, you know, the Congress makes you, in your workplace, if you own a business, everybody's got to go through stupid sexual harassment training every friggin' year. I had to do it when I was selling cars. I just had to do it to work at Newsmax. And this is what they're forced to do, you know. And I work by myself. What, am I going to slap my own ass? I mean, hey, man, you know, Rob, you put out on the first date, Rob? Hey, man, you're looking pretty good in those jeans, Rob. Really? I work by myself. And I had to do all this. It's just ridiculous. Here is Eric Swalwell doing his little mea culpa. Nobody believes him.
Today through anonymous allegations.
Nobody believes this guy.
A lot has been said about me today through anonymous allegations. And I thought it was important that you see and hear from me directly.
By the way, he taped this at a home belonging to Stephen Klubeck, one of a Democrat's benefactors in Beverly Hills, by the way. And apparently the video taken at Klubeck's residence, and the billionaire's been shacking up with an alleged honey trapper accused of burglarizing the home of rich older men in Los Angeles. Klubeck is supposed to marry the honey trapper, OnlyFans model Adva Lavi. That's a good place to do your mea culpa in June, but their wedding's reportedly in jeopardy due to allegations against her. This is where he chose to do this video.
Allegations of sexual assault are flat false. They are absolutely false. They did not happen. They have never.
I thought you were supposed to believe all women.
Happened, and I will fight them with everything that I have. They also come on the eve of an election.
Yeah.
Where I have been the front-runner candidate for governor in California. I do not suggest to you in any way that I'm perfect or that I'm a saint.
There you go. Here you go.
I have certainly made mistakes in judgment in my past. But those mistakes are between me and my wife.
Yes.
And to her, I apologize deeply for putting her in this position.
Well, there he is admitting it, at least something.
I also apologize to you.
How many times are we going to hear this? How many times have we heard this from either politicians or televangelists? How many times have we heard this?
In any way, you've doubted your support for me. But I think you know who I am.
Yeah.
For over 20 years, I have served the public.
Yeah.
As a city councilman, as a member of Congress, and as a prosecutor who went to court.
You've been caught on tape
behalf of victims,
talking about how you only F-10s.
Particularly on behalf of sexual assault victims. That's who I am and have always been. This weekend, I'm going to spend time with my family and friends.
Yeah, of course.
And I appreciate those who have reached out to me to show support.
Yeah, very few have, actually. Here's Mark Warner. He's unfortunately a senator from Virginia. And here he is, no real support. This is like an abandonment. It's like, there's no, I don't believe this and all this. He's basically saying he's toast.
Senator, I do want to ask about allegations of against one of your fellow Democrats, Eric Swalwell, allegations of rape and sexual misconduct. Wow. He denies these allegations as false. All
those women are wrong.
Never happened. You are a leader in your party. Do you think he should resign from Congress or face expulsion?
Congress just voted to keep under wraps the sexual harassment and assault payoffs to people who've been sexually assaulted or harassed on Capitol Hill. They're keeping it from us.
You know, Dana, I have seen the reports. I think I've met Mr. Swalwell once or twice.
But it was never when we were out at the bar with some women.
I want to hear his side of the story, but obviously, if any of these allegations are true, he should no longer be a candidate, at least candidate for governor. But again, I don't know any of the facts, and I'm a little old-fashioned. I feel like I ought to hear.
A little old-fashioned. I gotta believe you gotta have this evidence. Well, of course, moron. Conservative journalist explains why the liberal media is going along with the destruction of Eric Swalwell. This on Gateway Pundit. The upcoming June 2nd gubernatorial primary, not like other primaries, instead of one Democrat primary winner and one Republican primary winner facing off in the general election, the top two vote getters advance to the general election. Now, if you go look at the polls, you can see there's a very real chance two Republicans could win the primary, which would ensure a Republican governor. The media and Democrats cannot allow this to happen, so it's been decided that Swalwell must be sacrificed. His sacrifice will break the three-way tie between the top three Democrat candidates, Swalwell, Katie Porter, and Tom Steyer. And once Swalwell's 15% support moves to the other two, one or both is certainly to go on to compete in the general election, which practically ensures Democrats hold on to the governor's seat. We will see. If Swalwell were polling at 30% instead of his current 15%, the media cover-up of his allegations would continue. That's the way they do it. That's the way they do it. Here's Eric Swalwell a couple years ago on Jimmy Kimmel's show.
The consequences for everyone else, like women in their bodies, kids in their safety at school, you know, seniors in their health care. Yeah. Like to him, it's me, me, me. Democrats, sometimes we stand too much on virtue and like modesty.
Democrats stand on virtue and modesty? Are you out of your nut?
And we think everything is a Harvard Law School moot court competition.
Oh my
God.
God.
We just need to talk about this like it's a gut check to the regular folks and not make...
No, less of a gut check, more a kick in the ball.
It's so complicated. Just be real.
You say a lot of nasty things about you on Fox News. I mean, they're your parents. Doesn't that upset them and make them go, I'm not, I see that what they're saying is...
Yeah, and by the way, he banged a Chinese spy, a honeypot Chinese spy. Here he is on Charlemagne, the God show, talking about that.
Did the Chinese spy scandal hurt your credibility, or did Republicans just weaponize like a nothing burger, so to speak?
You know, the fact that the FBI and the House Ethics Committee said it was bullshit, like I would hope that would be enough, but like in a disinformation society, like I recognize that it's
disinformation.
Everyone on the right's favorite meme.
Sure, yeah.
My wife tells me all the time, you know what?
He's still married to you.
Second, they're not going after you, you're not affected.
Wow, this is
And so
fake.
I wear it as a badge of honor that these guys would want to lie about me all the time.
It's the only honor you have because you spend so many times trying to get honor is what it was. Yeah, I just said that anyway. Yeah, he's a scumbag. He's done. He's out, and that's their Democrat straight. But look, they still got Katie Porter and Tom Steyer. Not exactly the most electable people. And Steve Hilton is kicking butt, and there's a lot of fraud in California. Gordon Chang joins us to talk about the blockade of Iran in a couple minutes. Don't go anywhere. Sorry about the beat. Hey guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 a.m. on my Ghost Bed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about Ghost Bed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. Ghost Bed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new Ghost Bed. Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Ethos. I've worked very hard to get where I am today. I want the best for my kids. Both of my kids got kind of kicked in the teeth from COVID protocols. My son missed 2 years of college, my daughter high school. A good deal of their lives will be spent making up for time away from classes and friends. When I'm gone, I want them to be able to live a great life and have kids. That's why I have life insurance. This is why you need to purchase life insurance from Ethos. Ethos helps provide financial security. Ethos protects your loved ones. In as little as 10 minutes, you can have life insurance. For me, it was almost instant. All you have to do is answer a few health questions online to get the ball rolling. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get up to $3 million in coverage in as little as 10 minutes. Go to ethos.com/Newsmax. That's the code, ethos.com/Newsmax. Application times and rates may vary. That's ethos.com/Newsmax.
Deported. 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 Get him out. Ready? Are you ready? Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get the hell out of here. Deported. Deported.
Will never have a nuclear weapon. Iran, you marking it down? Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. And we agreed to a lot of things, but they didn't agree to that. And I think they will agree to it. I'm almost sure of it. In fact, I am sure of it. If they don't agree, there's no deal. There'll never be a deal. Iran will not have a nuclear weapon, and we're going to get the dust back. We'll get it back. Either we'll get it back from them or we'll take it.
Wow, that is unbelievable. I got to tell you, kind of a shock to the system. Donald Trump kind of, checkmate on Iran. We were kind of worried that this ceasefire wasn't going to hold because Iran is not allowing traffic through the Straits of Hormuz. Donald Trump decides, okay, we'll just go ahead and blockade the country. So they can't trade. They can't trade with other countries. They can't receive or deliver goods. This is gigantic. I didn't expect it. But then again, this is Donald Trump. Gordon G. Chang on the Newsmax hotline. Gordon G. Chang on Twitter. Gordon, I've been dying to talk to you about this, my friend. Did you expect this, and what do you think?
I certainly applaud President Trump. This is a great move.
Wow.
The Iranians had been imposing a toll on traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, so their ships were getting through, but ours were not. And so it was just important for the president to say, look, he's going to seize ships that have paid that toll. He's going to impose fairness. So if the strait is not open to all, it's going to be open to none.
Wow.
And the U.S. Navy can enforce this. I think this is really good news on the part of from the president.
Well, you look at the other possibilities to increase bombing, sorties, all of this. The possibility of boots on the ground with regard to Karg Island and the defensive positions that Iran has on there, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you see this. Did you even in your wildest dreams think this was going to happen?
I did not think it was going to happen. I've been arguing it should happen for quite some time now because my point is, Karg Island, you don't have to take it. I mean, the casualties there would be needless. All you have to do is close the strait, and then Karg Island becomes irrelevant. And that also is true for the narrow portion of the Strait of Hormuz. We don't need to take that either. All we need to do is just sit off the shore and interdict shipping. Shipping is not going to try to get through there if we announce, as President Trump did, that he's going to stop shipping. So this is an incredibly good move, and it's a move which has very little cost to it.
Yeah, it's remarkable because, we had all this bloviating last week from the what's left of the Ayatollahs, whoever's in charge, cardboard or whatever. And then they're like, well, we're going to shut down the Straits of Hormuz. And Donald Trump says, nah, we're going to shut it down. I just think it's spectacular. I really do.
Yes, and really what it does is it puts a lot of pressure on China.
Yes.
Because China was getting oil through the strait, not as much as they needed, but they were getting oil through there. And their cargo ships were also passing the Strait of Hormuz. So that's not going to happen anymore. Mm-hmm. And that's important because it says to China, look, you're no longer going to get this advantage by supporting Iran. And that means basically China now is in a very difficult position.
Well, you look at the fact that if we're there and we're controlling that, we've already severely damaged the possibility of any sort of war machine from China with regard to Taiwan, because you cannot have a war machine unless you got the gas. And we had severely restricted that. I mean, think about the ways that this can impact not only the economy of China, but the Chinese Communist Party. Can you put this in perspective for us, Gordon Chang?
Yeah, China is the world's largest oil importer. Now, it also has the world's largest strategic petroleum reserve, which is enough basically for 140, maybe 150 days of import cover. That's really good, but that's eventually going to be drawn down, as we are seeing right now. So the important point here is that although they can weather this for a little while, they at some point are going to have that strait open, which means they're going to have to negotiate with President Trump.
Wow. So how is China going to confront Iran on this, and what do you suppose China will make them do to get the oil flowing again, get the trade flowing again? Clearly, this is going to impact the people in power in Iran, and the possibility of, I hope and I believe, a regime change. But what is China, do you suppose, that they're going to tell Iran they need to do?
That's a great question, and I don't know how far Beijing can go because I think the mullahs are intransigent. But what we know China will do is it will try to get President Trump to back down. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a malicious and an unprecedented propaganda campaign.
Yeah.
And it's, the course of this war is going to be determined by one guy. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are going to try to influence him, and the Chinese are going to be working very hard on it. Remember, this was a war that was never going to be popular, but President Trump did this because he realized the danger to the American public and to the publics around the world. So he's going to be a tough thing for China to crack, but they're going to try it, and they're going to throw everything at it because they realize that he is probably, in their view, I think they've got a better chance of convincing the American public to force Trump to back down than they do about getting the mullahs to back down.
Well,
That's
I mean,
just a guess.
you look at what China's doing. You've got Neville Singham there, supported by the Chinese Communist Party, and I'm sure that the Chinese Communist Party has had a good deal to do with this boots off or out of Iran propaganda. A good deal to do with the Democrat Party basically saying that this campaign was folly, this campaign was disastrous, and it has worked pretty well with a certain portion of the American public. I saw it this weekend. I saw it a lot in Washington D.C. You're not seeing the full-throated support of our U.S. military. You're getting no support from the Democrat Party. I don't think they'll win. I don't think they'll win. I think the good news is going to be too overwhelming. What do you think?
Yeah, it's not only the Democratic Party; it's also a big portion of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And the point here is that President Trump, I think, has a great case to make to the American public, but he has not made it effectively.
Yeah.
Because we see this in the poll numbers.
Yeah.
If you look at the facts, Rob, the facts support the president. As a matter of fact, the facts are much better than the president has actually told the American public.
Yeah.
But he needs to make that case.
Yeah. Well, you've also got the media. Our American media has never been this way before. They are literally siding with the Iranians, saying that I know that the Ayatollah is bad, but I mean, really? But it's like saying, I know that Hitler is killing the Jews and everything, but you know what? Stephanie Ruhle last week said, I know the Ayatollah is bad, but the people are willing to die for this. And I'm like, well, the same thing can be said about Hitler's Germany. I know that the death camps are bad, but man, the people in Germany are really behind this. I mean, can you believe this, Gordon?
Yeah, this is really bad. And when you look at it, it's basically Trump derangement syndrome. One thing that the Democrats should understand, they look a little bit at history. The last time we have seen this in the American public is when the Republicans just hated FDR. And how did that work out for the Republican Party?
Yeah.
Well, it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope the Democrats understand that history means this is not going to work out for them either.
Well, can we take a break and come back, Gordon? I've got much more I want to talk to you about. Gordon Chang, by the way, on the phone, and also if you go to Twitter, it's Gordon G. Chang. Gordon G. Chang there on Twitter. He's got some great books about the coming collapse of China, etc. Hopefully that's going to happen. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Rutherford County.
Let a country blackmail or extort the world, because that's what they're doing. They're really blackmailing the world. We're not going to let that happen. And you know, the amazing thing is, we don't, can you believe this? We don't use this trade. We don't need this trade. We have our own oil and gas, much more than we need. We have more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia. Think of this. We produce more. Saudi Arabia, and add Russia to it.
Wow.
Substantially more. And by next year, we'll have double that amount. So we don't need it, but the world needs it. And many ships are heading to our country right now as we speak to load up with the best. Really, I guess you could say, somebody said the best and sweetest. I don't know exactly what sweet is, but when it relates to oil, it's a good thing.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm just blown away. President Trump's blockade of Iran could be poised to deliver a staggering blow to the Iranian economy, including the cash flows needed by the regime to pay the host of soldiers and thugs it requires to stay in power. That from John Hayward on Breitbart. Gordon Chang, what do you think about those thoughts from the president?
Oh, absolutely. Really what we need to do is starve the regime, because you got no mullah for the mullahs. There's no more war. So really, that's what President Trump is doing, and he's doing it at low cost because, as I mentioned, you don't need boots on the ground. You just need to take out the money flows. And the biggest money flow for them is through the Strait of Hormuz.
What are you hearing from China? Because a lot of things have happened. A lot of major blows to Chinese manufacturing with the offshoring of for instance, iPhones are going to be built in America now. You've got a lot of other products that are moving to America to be manufactured. Remember when we used to be a manufacturing hub of the entire world when made in America meant something? I mean, look at what's happened. This has got to really be depressing the Chinese economy and impacting the power of the Chinese Communist Party.
Yes. Well, first of all, the increase in the cost of energy, not only gasoline, but more important, diesel. And what the government has been doing is it's been letting oil out of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. But it's also been eating a lot of the cost of the increase in oil. And it has to do that because ultimately, Chinese factories are going to go out of business if they have to absorb 100% the cost of energy. So the government is picking up a good portion of the tab.
Well, we haven't heard as much from China as we normally do, have we? I mean, normally you're reading much more. So are they just kind of laying low? Not wanting to upset the apple cart, maybe not to get on the bad side of Donald Trump, because if I'm not mistaken, Donald Trump's going to China here, in about a month or so, right?
Well, it's scheduled for May 14th and 15th, but we'll see if it actually occurs. Because if the war is still going, I don't think he should be going to the capital of an enemy combatant. And the reason is that the Chinese will portray, whenever any foreign leader goes to China, by the way, they're always portrayed as acknowledging submission to the Grand Celestial Court. So going to China is a very dangerous thing for a foreign leader, but especially in the middle of a war, because the Chinese are going to be saying to everybody, Donald Trump realizes he needs China's help in ending the war. And even though we're supporting Iran and giving them all these weapons to kill Americans, he's still coming here. So,
interesting. That's interesting.
If Trump wins the war by then the Chinese are not going to want him there. And the reason is they don't want an unpredictable President Trump rummaging around their capital, especially because he'll be triumphant.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But, who knows how this will turn out.
China's great. China's good, just not great like America. I can see it. It's unbelievable. Let me ask you, I was mentioning earlier the triumph of the Artemis mission around the moon. And I would imagine it would be a little demoralizing for some of the other powers of the Earth. I mean, we played golf on the moon 47 years ago, for God's sake. But I was wondering, you had Victor Davis on the craft, quoting scripture, talking about Jesus before they went around the moon, landing here, thanking God, and all of this. What do you suppose that a Chinese astronaut, who would they have thanked? The party? the leader. What do you suppose?
Yeah, of course, because
yeah.
it's all party directed,
Yeah.
And there would be all of that
Wow.
propaganda from the far side of the moon.
This is why I know that we're on the right side of good and of God, Gordon Chang. Do you believe that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Communism is against faith.
Yeah.
It's against life. Václav Havel told us that. And the Chinese are taking on a pretty powerful figure. So they're ultimately going to fail because atheists just can't stand up to God.
Yeah, and I think we are in a battle of good and evil. I think evil had really kind of wrapped its arms around the earth, and we're in the middle of this existential battle. But I believe good will win. Otherwise, Hitler's nephew would be in charge of Germany right now. So there you go. Gordon Chang, always a pleasure having you on. Where can people find all of your glorious work?
Well, on X at GORDONGCHANG, and I archive all of my articles for free on my website, www.gordonchang.com.
Very good, my friend. God bless you. Have a glorious week. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks so much, Rob, and stay safe.
All right, let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show. All right, kids. Hello. Gordon's always... it was always interesting, right? Somebody commented, what's up with my hair today? You know what happened this weekend? So I go to hair cuttery. I've got this great haircut person. Her name is Nuna, and she's from Vietnam. And I was so blessed to see, because I don't think the hairs look better. I don't think it's right. I mean, it looked pretty good, right? But I got my haircut appointment cut this weekend, so it's long. I mean, it's long. It's long. So yeah, it's a little bit unruly at times. Anyway. Let's see. Hi, GJ Gary. What's going on? Democrat Party are getting the American citizens ready for the next election vote. Listen to them. Yeah, I know. They are. We've got to defeat them in the midterms because they are awful, awful people. Awful, awful people. Hello, Mickey Hastings. Hello, Deplorable Dinosaur. How you doing? MAGA is stronger every day. Yeah, it is. And it is. And this move by Trump was really, really powerful. Really, really powerful. Let me go. I'm going to find some audio here I want to play. Yeah. All right. Gary McGovern. I'm going to be in Rehoboth this weekend, guys. I'm going to be in Rehoboth. I cannot wait to go back. Let me find all the details here. This big radio expo near the airport. Yeah. The Radio Electronics Expo, Sussex Academy, 21150 Airport Road in Georgetown, Delaware. I'm going to be there doing the show from 10 to noon, and then I'll be there a couple hours afterwards. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. I can't wait to see people. Can't wait to see you guys. It's my favorite thing to do. My favorite thing to do is meet my listeners, my viewers. It's great to meet you guys. I can't tell you what it means to me.
I have 4 minutes here.
So Donald Trump pulls off the ultimate checkmate this weekend, cuts off all trade to and from Iran, something nobody expected. Everybody was saying, they're going to forever war, and they're going to be boots on the ground and Cargill and all that. It was a masterful display of intelligence, just the brilliance, actually. It was really brilliant. But here's Pramila Jayapal on MS Now, the worst network ever, a propaganda establishment that really is, I mean, honestly. But here's what they're going to do. If the Democrats regain power of either a House in November, which they cannot do, they're going to use the 25th Amendment to get rid of Donald Trump. And I'm going to tell you right now, if that happens, there will be a civil war.
Do you support using the 25th Amendment? Obviously, J.D. Vance is not the guy to do it. This cabinet is not going to do it. But your colleague, Ro Khanna, who I spoke to earlier this week, was talking about the need for a moral position and moral conviction in taking that position as opposed to just realistically whether or not it would happen.
Oh, absolutely. I said that a week ago, that we should invoke the 25th Amendment. As you point out, that
why is that?
Is something that
because we won?
Unfortunately, by the process we have. And there was actually a bill that was introduced, I think it was last session, by Jamie Raskin to change that process, by the way, should we ever get control of the House back. But right now, invoking the 25th Amendment requires the vice president and then requires him to get a majority of the cabinet. And so I have taken the position that we need to do whatever we can to get him out.
I'm done of this temper tantrum. We've had it going on for 10 years. I'm bloody done with it. I'm done with it. We have to drive the Democrat Party into the pits of hell. When November comes around, we have to regain massive amounts of both the House and the Senate, and then we need to start seeing arrests and convictions of people who have broken the law, who have stolen from you and me, who have gone after the opposition, have censored our speech, opened our southern border to our enemies, causing the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Americans, the trafficking of hundreds of thousands of women and children. It is time. And if the Democrat Party pulls this crap, I'm going to tell you right now, there will be a civil war in this country because we're done with it. 80 million of us are done with this nonsense, this destruction, and by God, we are not going to allow you to take our president from us. I'm just telling you what's happening in Virginia right now. Right now, the people of Virginia are rejecting Abigail Scamberger because she lied about who she is to get into office. And she's going to pay the price for it. I've got details coming up on the other side of the break. Oh, it's crazy. She is going down. And I love it. I just love it. I do want to mention this. A lot of people have been talking about my bed, my ghost bed. And, you know, it's kind of funny. You talk about ghost bed, right? It sounds kind of funny. But it's the best bed I've ever owned in my life. I was talking to my friend this weekend, Sia. We were at this ball game. And she said, oh, yeah, a lot of people are getting this ghost bed. I said, I know. She said, a lot of people are talking about the ghost bed. It is the best bed I've ever had. I sleep until the sun comes up. I did it again this morning. It keeps you cool when it's hot. It keeps you warm when it's cold. It's just wonderful. I look forward to going to bed. I sometimes don't want to get out of bed. I haven't been that way in a long time. Ghostbed.com/Carson for 10% off. Already low saving. You're not going to believe what it costs. By the way, a lot cheaper than a conventional mattress. Ghostbed.com/Carson. Ghostbed.com/Carson. Last hour of the show on the way. Blaine Holt joins us. Don't go anywhere.
At Town Hall, I'm Bob.
funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is hour number 3 of the Rob Carson Show on a Monday. Thank God it's Monday, I'm going to tell you. And for a variety of reasons, by the way, a variety of reasons. First of all, I had a really busy weekend, and it was gloriously busy. Spent a lot of time in Washington, D.C., seeing our nation's capital, and I got to tell you, I told you we've got to overwhelm the left with joy, patriotism, and faith. We have to. Because, I'm tired of people trying to make me feel bad for living here and for being born here and for loving this country. I'm just done with it. I'm done with it. I have no time for your nonsense anymore. There is an awakening happening across our country. Faith is back. Patriotism is back. You should have seen the national anthem yesterday. I went to the Orioles game, and they kicked San Francisco's butt 6-2. And there's just something about seeing and hearing the national anthem in that stadium, knowing that just a few miles away is Fort McHenry, where the Francis Scott Key wrote the national anthem, sitting in that harbor. It is something else. It is something else. And we were singing the national anthem. Everybody in my row was singing the national anthem when that thing sang. People are proud of America, and we're tired of the left dogging us about loving our country. It is utterly ridiculous. And like I said, we overwhelm them with joy, patriotism, and faith. I'll handle the mockery, ridicule, and satire, and let Donald Trump handle the butt kicking. And that's what he's doing. I was talking to some people this weekend. I talked to a whole bunch of people about the president, because I had the chance to meet the president, the only president I've had a chance to meet. And I always share the story about how I went to Mar-a-Lago. Mr. Chris Ruddy of Newsmax took me to Mar-a-Lago to have dinner, and we met the president. This was when he was right before the persecution started happening. And he told me that he thought I was the funniest man on television. I got to stand up and shake his hand. It was something else. And when my mother died, I went to her funeral. I came home, and there was a letter in my mailbox that said, it was from Donald Trump. I printed it off. It says, "I'm so sorry about the passing of your mother, Bonnie. She must have been a great lady," or something to that effect. And I was like, why would he care about me? He's dealing with all of this, all of the world leaders in the world. You know what he did this morning? He retruthed a post about Rob Carson's What in the World. He did it twice on Truth Social. The President of the United States watches my TV show and thinks I'm the funniest guy on television. And he reminded the world of it this morning when he retruthed my show this weekend, which, by the way, was really funny. I think I'm writing the best comedy I've ever written. I think I'm doing the best commentary I've ever done. And the show is better. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, retruthed by Donald Trump. Think about all the people he knows that he could have he retruthed me. Mom, if you're watching in heaven, Donald Trump retruthed my show today. I'm just blown away. And I told people he's a personable man. He's a personable man. And today at the White House, he goes out. This grandma shows up at the White House. She's an Uber Eats driver, I guess, bringing bags of McDonald's. And all of a sudden, Donald Trump meets her at the door and gets the bags of McDonald's. Here's Fox talking about it.
Side of the Oval Office, he's speaking to a woman.
McDonald's delivery.
Yeah, a young woman there who's just delivered McDonald's, and I hope she is tipped very well. I'm sure she is. An incredible, of course, testament to the president, as always, caring for his staffers in the best way that they always love, which is a McDonald's.
She's not going to forget that delivery.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Neither are we.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being a DoorDash driver and you go to the White House and all of a sudden Donald Trump comes out? Donald Trump comes out and gets the order and then shoots a little bit of S with you hanging out there. I think it is just so cool. I think it's so cool that he does that. And you know what? If you watch this guy, he listens to people. He listens to people. No matter how small you are, no matter how whatever you are, he listens to people. And it's amazing. Captain James Fannell was on with Steve, Real America's Voice, on Real America's Voice, talking about why Donald Trump's blockade changes the game. He's on with Steve Bannon, by the way. Oops. Here it is.
I mean, the president clearly didn't like what happened that came out of the talk.
Talking about the blockade, and again, it was something I didn't see, but I'm me, right? But Gordon Chang didn't see it. A lot of people didn't see it. It was a master move.
In Islamabad, and he saw that his team was moving in to do what had been on their plan, which was to start clearing the strait. And so he sent through yesterday 2 guided missile destroyers, the Michael Murphy and the Frankie Peterson. And this is in response to what Iran had put out on Thursday, the 9th of April, this chart that shows where they laid mines. It was the first time since the war started that Iran had even acknowledged that they put out mines. And if we can get the chart up, it'll show a red box in the center of the Strait of Hormuz. There it is. And so where it says hazardous area is where the old traffic separation scheme was, that ships would go in and out of the Strait of Hormuz. The 2 corridors to the north of that go through Iranian waters, through Keshem and Larak Island on the inbound, and then south of Larak Island on the outbound. Those were established in mid-March by the Iranians, and some ships were paying this toll to Iran. So when the talks failed here last night, the Iranians thought that they had checkmate on us, and then the president's team countered that with saying, hey, we just sent 2 destroyers through, and you don't lead in a minesweeping effort sending 2 Aegis destroyers through.
Yeah. So they had basically restricted travel through the Gulf of or the Straits of Hormuz by saying they laid mines in it. So there's a giant area. Don't go here. You have to go through Iranian waters. And Donald Trump says, "How about this? How about we shut down Iranian waters?" It's a brilliant move. It's a brilliant move, and it's keeping boots off the ground and all of that stuff. So pretty amazing stuff when you think about it, and hopefully it will result in the collapse of the Iranian regime and the freedom for the Persian people and the other peoples that live there. Abigail Schamberger thought she'd get away with it, lying about who she was to get elected in the state of Virginia. And I kind of knew Virginia before I moved here. I lived in Maryland for 12 years. As soon as I moved into Maryland, I wish I moved to Virginia, but we bought a house and we kind of got stuck there for 12 years. And now I'm recognizing that, Virginia is a proud and patriotic state. In fact, one of the most proud and patriotic states. People love this country because Virginia helped found the country. The country didn't found Virginia. Virginia founded the country. And people are willing to die for this country and this state. And you can understand it. And that's why I love it. And they're just sick of, they're done with Abigail Schamberger.
Virginia Governor Abigail Schamberger is facing mounting pressure from Republicans. And of course, this is the sticking point for her because she's only been in office for a couple of months. She's now facing historically terrible polling.
Yeah.
President Trump is calling her out over her new tax proposals in her state.
Oh, yeah.
He writes, "I can't believe what this new Governor Schamberger has done. She is adding so many taxes. People are leaving that would never have even thought of doing so." People that voted for Schamberger are saying to themselves, why did I do that?
Yeah.
What have I done?
Yeah.
Here's former Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin.
She is rated the lowest in popularity for a Virginia governor in modern history, and this is why Virginians feel like they've been lied to.
Yeah.
She came out on the campaign trail and said she had no plans to redistrict Virginia. And then the very first piece of legislation she signed is to gerrymander the state. Virginians don't trust her. They shouldn't.
Yeah.
Schamberger's proposed tax plan, and there are so many, we scroll them, includes a hike on higher income earners, new taxes on deliveries like Amazon and Uber Eats. So you're paying to get them to come to you, and then you have to pay a tax to Virginia on it.
Yeah.
As well as on firearms and ammunition and local services such as fitness and entertainment. So pretty much everything that you have going on in your life, extracurricular.
Yeah, they're going to tax everything. Dog grooming. Everything. They're going to tax it all. You want your Amazon? It's going to cost you a whole hell of a lot more to get your Amazon. They want to tax. Are you ready? They want to tax online fantasy football. which of course will just take it offline and people will just do it in the office with one another and they'll talk on cell phones and they'll do it that way. It's just so stupid. It's just so bloody stupid. Patty Lyman is a Virginian. She's talking about Abigail Scamberger, and actually I don't know where that somehow that disappeared. I'll have to find the Patty Lyman bite here. Hold on one second. Patty Lyman, let me grab it here real quick. Patty Lyman was talking about this, and I mentioned one of her lines this weekend was absolutely great about America being made in Virginia. Listen to this.
Do you know what our slogan is in Virginia for America 250? Our Virginia slogan is America made in Virginia. Because it was.
Yeah.
And you know what? It ain't bragging if you can do it.
Yep.
I love this country. I love the posse, but there is no state in the United States like Virginia.
Nope, there isn't.
And, you know, you were talking about Roman citizenship. Sometimes as a native lifelong Virginian, I feel like I have a special place in this country as well because of that. And we will be darned if that's going to be torn up by the Democrats or by Republicans who want us to be more like Democrats.
Yeah. And the thing that I noticed when I moved to Northern Virginia, because, you know, the Democrat Party the last decade has told us to be ashamed of our past, torn down statues of Columbus and Civil War soldiers and Robert E. Lee, and this psychotic cat lady, Scamberger, wants to take the General Lee license plate away. Now, I'm not talking about the Confederate flag. I'm talking it's General Lee, who, by the way, his allegiance was to Virginia. Not necessarily to Confederacy, it was to Virginia. Abraham Lincoln wanted him to be a general for the Union, and he said his allegiances lie with Virginia. And if you understand this state and the people in this state, you're going to understand that they love this country as founded because they founded it. They founded it. Every one of these streets, you got streets as Queen, Prince, King Street. Then you got Washington, then you got Lee, then you got this. And none of them were changed during Black Lives Matter because they're proud of their state and they're proud that Virginia founded the country. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
Veterans and active duty service members, when you're called to...
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Ethos. I've worked very hard to get where I am today. I want the best for my kids. Both of my kids got kind of kicked in the teeth from COVID protocols. My son missed 2 years of college, my daughter high school. A good deal of their lives will be spent making up for time away from classes and friends. When I'm gone, I want them to be able to live a great life and have kids. That's why I have life insurance. This is why you need to purchase life insurance from Ethos. Ethos helps provide financial security. Ethos protects your loved ones. In as little as 10 minutes, you can have life insurance. For me, it was almost instant. All you have to do is answer a few health questions online to get the ball rolling. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get up to $3 million in coverage in as little as 10 minutes. Go to ethos.com/Newsmax. That's the code, ethos.com/Newsmax. Application times and rates may vary. That's ethos.com/Newsmax.
Under the sea, it isn't better down where it's wetter, take it from me. Our Navy has gone down to defeat, they've taken down most of our fleet, nowhere to hide, our ships reside under the sea. One by one our ships are sinking, U.S. forces have won the day. It's enough to make me start drinking as the torpedo heads my way. Our Navy faces complete destruction, soon we'll have no ships in the sea. Hormuz has become one big graveyard, drunk and declare sweet victory. Began under the sea, under the sea. How we abhor the ocean floor, it's not for me. Iran has fought this war in vain. Here comes a U.S. Air Force plane. If you're on our ship, you'll take a trip under the sea.
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Relief Factor. There's a reason why at my age I can still crush it at the gym, carry an armchair by myself, or do any home improvement project without pain during or after, and that's Relief Factor. When it comes to supplements, the two things that matter most, it works and you trust it. Relief Factor was created by a combat-wounded Vietnam veteran. He decided to become a doctor simply to help people, to heal them. If pain is holding you back, find out why so many people, including me, make Relief Factor a part of their daily routine. Try the 3-week quick start today. Go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com, or call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
And from your laws. But ours was founded on the belief that your rights come from your Creator and from God.
Come on! This is Patty Lyman, Republican in the state of Virginia.
What happened is that a light bulb went off at the unit levels, at the grassroots levels in our state.
This is after Abigail Scamberger became the governor.
And we had people jumping up and coming forward. We have every kind of sign under the sun. We have every kind of ad under the sun. We have every type of person and walk of life under the sun saying vote no in different ways, in different areas where it will speak to the people that we're trying.
And in her arrogance and hubris, Abigail Scamberger decided to step into office and say she'd get rid of all Republican representation in the state, essentially, eliminating half of the population. And if I'm not mistaken, taxation without representation started the Revolutionary War.
Trying to reach. This is neighbor to neighbor. This is mano a mano. This is one-on-one, convincing other people why we cannot drown out the voices of 90% of our Commonwealth. And Steve, I'll be honest with you, I have not seen Virginia Republicans and just Virginia fair-minded people united at this level.
You know, we don't have to take this crap, to be quite honest. We don't have to take this nonsense. We don't have to sit here and say, oh, my God, it looks like the Democrats are going to win the midterms. No, shut up. That's ridiculous. Utterly, utterly ridiculous. The Democrats are offering nothing but negativity. They hate the country. They hate the military. They wouldn't even congratulate the military on an unbelievable campaign. I went out this weekend. I saw America out. I saw this glorious cherry blossom parade and patriotism everywhere and joy. And high school from Lee Summit in Kansas City, where I moved from, they were in the parade. There were kids from Georgia in the parade. They were all these the proudest moment of their lives to be invited to do a parade down Constitution Avenue. So much patriotism and love for the country. My God, you should have seen the pictures I took this weekend of the Washington Monument, standing there just looking at that monument right up the way, and then right next to the African American History Museum, and then all the other Smithsonian museums, walked by the National Archives, had lunch in the little cafe in the park right across from the National Archives. I am just not taking any more of this America hating and Trump hating. I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm absolutely done with this nonsense. And you know what? I was talking to this a friend of mine. Her name is Sia Fennell. And she has been in America since 1991. She's from Sierra Leone. She was a Democrat for most of her adult life, and she started moving away from the Democrat Party last year, and then Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and some of her friends and colleagues gleefully celebrated him being murdered. And she said, I can't be a part of this anymore. And she's been called every name in the book by the people who she considered her friends, by her colleagues in the Democrat Party. They have ostracized her. They've called her the sickest names you could ever imagine. And I've heard this from her, and I'm like, my God. The same goes with all my friends in Maryland. None of them will talk to me anymore. I went there every day. 12 years we had every Thanksgiving, every New Year's, meals together 4 or 5 times a week, helped raise their kids. Am I invited this summer to go up hang at their pool? No, I'm not their friend anymore because I'm a Trump supporter. And if you want to play that game, go live on an island by yourself. Go live in misery and darkness because I'm not going there anymore. I'm not going to be a part of this nonsense. I'm not going to be a part of this, the Prince of Darkness. Not going to be a part of the Prince of Darkness any longer. Quoting a little Indigo Girls from way back when. And masculinity is back, and femininity is back. And if you don't believe me, listen to this UFC fight promo with Dana White on the White House grounds.
America was built on bold ideas. And on June 14th, on one night and one night only, we are going to pull off the boldest idea in sports history.
I thought it was July 4th. They're doing it June 14th.
One of the most sensational champions we've ever seen inside the octagon. He has the chance to be the first to successfully defend both the featherweight and lightweight UFC title.
But he is facing Justin Gaethje. He is a savage, and he doesn't run away from anything.
He has the highest performance bonus.
That masculinity is so toxic. You know what? Masculinity is not toxic.
Percentage in all of the UFC. Those two at the White House should be insane.
Boom. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I cannot wait. This weekend, Donald Trump was in Miami, and there was a UFC fight down there. And Brazilian UFC fighter Paulo Costa acknowledged Trump and Jesus.
And look, who is there? President Donald Trump and fight. Yes.
It sucks to be you, Democrats, because you're never going to be acknowledged by a UFC fighter ever, ever, ever. Maybe by your barista.
And fighting in front of a great leader like this is an honor. And I would say thank you very much, Hunt Campbell. You're amazing. Dana White, Mick Manor. I asked Mick Manor for this fight. It's special. I say, Mick, please put me to fight that on the Retribution, the little fat one. He said, yes, okay, I'm going to try. And the next day he comes and say, Paulo, we got it. You're going to fight him? I say, whoa, that's a fight that I want. You know, I want to fight the best in the world, not only beginners. That's why I'm here. I work a lot with my whole team behind me. And first and most important, thank you, my Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you, God. Yes, I am a man of faith.
Listen to that. Oh, my goodness. Overwhelm them with joy, patriotism, and faith. They're like vampires to garlic. They're like vampires to garlic. This is the year you need to come to Washington, D.C. You need to spend 4 days with me, 5 days and 4 nights with me in Washington, D.C. Our big trip is October 25th through the 29th. There's never going to be a better time. Only this moment in history. And you need to be there, okay? You come and you hang out with me. We're going to be staying downtown, get a tour of the White House Visitor Center, going to be going through the U.S. Capitol Building, Arlington National Cemetery, changing of the guard, Lincoln Memorial, Washington Memorial, War Memorials, National Mall. We're going to see it all. And we're going to well up with tears of joy for our country. TravelWithRob.net. TravelWithRob.net to get information on this trip, October 25th through the 29th. It's going to sell out, so get on it. Okay, TravelWithRob.net. Let's take a break, come back. Brigadier General Blaine Holt on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. Hey, guys, it's Carson. You know my signature phrase, don't catch the stupid. When it comes to Medicare, that's easier said than done. Medicare is overly complex with thousands of plans, hidden gotchas in the fine print, and rules nobody really explains to you. Many people just pick something and hope for the best. That's why you need to know about Chapter. They're the only advisor that looks at every plan in the country, matches your doctors, your prescriptions, and your situation to a plan that fits your needs. When your call with Chapter is done, you know your doctors are covered. Your prescriptions are matched, and you go from, I hope I did this right, to, I know I did. That, my friends, is peace of mind. A call with Chapter is free for my audience, and there's no pressure to sign up. Call Chapter today. Here's the number, 27 Medicare. That's 27 MEDICARE. 27 Medicare for Chapter. No pressure. What's your excuse? Call 27 Medicare and don't catch the stupid yourself. Call 27 Medicare today.
Stupid Khomeini's son was not his number one. He thought Mojtaba was quite dumb, not to mention a bum. Did not want him to lead, say he can't even read. Mojtaba's IQ is quite low. The Ayatollah thought his boy was not very smart. He wanted to tell him but did not have the heart. Wouldn't have promoted him anyway because he is gay. Dancing with other men, prancing around a den, humiliating to his pop. He wanted him to stop, flaming as he can be, shaming dad's legacy. Mojtaba didn't seem to care.
Hey guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here, because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 in the morning on my Ghost Bed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about Ghost Bed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. Ghost Bed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new Ghost Bed.
I always accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. With me, there is no in between. State of the Union scored, approval rate how it has soared. Democrats cannot afford to take me for granted anymore. Inflation's low, employment's high. The Dow Jones, it is headed for the sky. Borders secure, illegals aren't getting in. That's why I accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. With me, there is no in between.
And that's exactly why he is winning the war against Iran. You know, Iran thought they're going to checkmate President Trump on this one. He ended up checkmating them by putting the blockade on the Strait of Hormuz. He understands how they think. He is not going to budge. He knows we have the upper hand. That was basically the last card that the Iranians played. They thought they can have the United States and the world by blocking the Straits of Hormuz, and they ended up failing, and we ended up with the upper hand. I think this war is going exactly the way we want it to go. We are coming up with the best options for this war. This is actually better. Doing the blockade is actually better than us taking Carg Island. It is safer for us. We can secure it much better. We cannot secure.
That is the great Brigitte Gabriel on Newsmax. And I got to tell you, I mean, bravo. Brigadier General Blaine Holt joins us on the Newsmax hotline, the host of Dangerous Intellectuals, the podcast. Brother, did you see this coming?
Yes, I did.
Oh, did you?
I called this Friday.
Oh, brother.
We're putting our vice president out there, which means they can't even say we didn't send the highest echelon possible. And start to do diplomatic mumbo jumbo. I knew this is where this was going to go because the regime had no reverse gear, no way out. They're just trying to portray to the 90 million people of Iran they're still in charge. They're not. They're turning on each other. This is wonderful.
Dude, I saw that they had put out this map that showed the area of the Straits of Hormuz where you should not travel. It's too dangerous because we've laid mines. And so you had to go through Iranian waters, and they could charge, terror or tolls on you to go through there. And Donald Trump just said, I think we'll just take control of the whole damn thing. It's just so perfect.
Oh, you knew that was going to happen.
Oh, my God.
That was going to happen. And so now we've got 2 destroyers patrolling. Nobody's lobbed any missiles at them. That's a very good thing. And that means every hour we're there, every hour this goes on, the more we're going to take control. And it's going to make 2 things happen. First off, commerce gets back underway. Sorry, 3 things are going to happen. Commerce back underway. 90 million in Iran want their country back, and they're going to go get it. And then this monopoly that's determined winners and losers forever, at least for 337 years, called Lloyd's of London, is not going to have a monopoly anymore.
Wow!
So there you go,
dude. I know that's a really big. And I know that you are well conversant on this, Lloyd's of London and what they do and what the globalists do in that area. This is a neutering supreme, brother. I mean, this is like boom.
They're getting hammered. And that's why you see the shenanigans up in Europe going on. You've got Ireland that's on the brink of a civil war.
Yeah.
You got Hungary that has a real sneaky Pete election that just went down last night.
Okay.
You've got Italy that Ursula von der Leyen's threatening them with their elections getting co-opted. And so there's, look, the globalists are in deep crap. They're in the emergency part of their plan. And I love it. Couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of fall of Rome type jerks that have tried to subjugate the world since 476.
Unbelievable. So let's talk a little bit about the. I haven't had a lot of chance to really digest the Orban defeat, but I would assume that there was a good deal of shenanigans, chicanery, and whatnot, possibly like what happened with Bolsonaro. What are your thoughts on it? What do you know about it?
Yeah, the EU and Ursula von der Leyen have been undermining the country of Hungary forever since the war began.
Yeah.
Since Orban wasn't going to play ball and wasn't going to yield to the Hungarian need for Russian gas and oil, and wasn't going to allow unfettered, unaudited money to go into Ukraine, they have withheld funds that are in the EU that belong to Hungary, hurt their economy. Ukraine has blown up the Druzhba pipeline several times, interrupting their energy stocks. And this is a NATO-paying, full-freight member, EU member state, and Slovakia is standing with them. So is Slovenia and Czech Republic. This is not going to go away just on this election. And if you think about it, Orban was a gentleman. He stepped off the stage. He conceded defeat.
Yeah.
And I think he was a little too cool about that. I think there's going to be another shoe to drop here soon.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I absolutely.
Really?
It just went all a little. I guess the bad guys are in charge.
Really?
Something's out there. Something's out there, brother.
This is good to know. This is really good because, every smartass in the world has been dogging me on, well, look, your Orban got beat. And I'm like, there's something happening. You don't know what you're talking about.
If your name is Soros, I wouldn't be at the window counting your winnings just yet.
Really, really. What's going on in Ireland, man? I'm seeing all these. Essentially, they've got a communist regime in charge of my homeland. Thank you very much. I'm Irish, English, German, by the way. All 3 homelands are mine. Yeah. But I'm seeing a lot of people out on the streets in Ireland. What's going on there, man?
They're at the abyss. They're right there at the brink.
Really?
So it starts with unchecked illegal migration, rape gangs, the assault on Irish culture, preferring the invaders in the court system over the indigenous and displacing them. And then the war on the farmers, meaning, okay, we'll start making sure that you can't afford the carbon credit tax, or you're not zero this or zero that. And so now they got to their snap point, and they're like, okay, we have nothing left to lose. May as well just go ahead and start blocking refineries and making the country dysfunctional. Well, now they've turned the military loose on the farmers.
Really?
The military is out there with the guard eye. Yeah, and then it's cooked with the globalists when they hire as the deputy chief of police for Dublin is the same clown, this woman who was the chief of police in Toronto during the crackdown on the truckers there. They're zeroing out bank accounts. They're going into tyrannies that have not been seen in Ireland since the early 1900s.
I got to tell you, this is not going to end well for people in power in Ireland. I have always felt a kinship with the Irish, and there's a reason why that country's been around as long as it has.
Yeah, I just put out a book review on this on my Dangerous Intellectuals piece, and it really centers on the Irish people. And just here's where we share a kinship with the Irish. It's not just the immigration piece.
Yeah.
It's our country was born in a bar. Sam Adams got together with some hooligans in a tavern and started a network of taverns with a club called the Sons of Liberty.
Yeah.
And one of those fuses was called Tun Tavern in Philadelphia that hatched no less than the United States Marine Corps. Well, guess what the Irish are?
Oh, yeah.
They like to have their public meetings in a public house.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, I hope they can kick some serious butt because,
They're doing good. They're doing good.
My heart is with them. Shut the whole dang thing down. Shut them down and chase them out. Chase them out like you did the snakes so many years ago. Chase these snakes out.
The opposition party called for a no confidence vote. It stuck. And tomorrow, the actual government and the Taoiseach in Ireland could fall.
Oh, this would be the second time they chase the snakes out, isn't it, buddy?
Yeah.
All right. I want to talk a little bit more about Iran on the other side of the break, and also Trump's brilliant move to shut down trade in and out. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Man, we get a lot of stuff out of Blaine today.
That they need to listen to voters and stop the tyranny.
Harford County.
Listen live or on demand. Download the WCBM mobile app from the App Store today. Win tickets and prizes. Text into the studio. Best of all, it's free. Stay connected wherever you go with the WCBM app from Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
There we go.
99.9 FM in Harford County.
Wow. I mean, they are protesting all over Ireland, and they're tired of the globalist nonsense, and God bless the the Irish people in their struggle. And Blaine, you're saying that there's a real good chance they could fall tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, there is a good shot at that. It would be a no-confidence vote, and that would take them down a lot of pegs. But the people are taking back their power.
Yeah.
This is a very, very good example for us to all look at.
Yeah.
And, I talk to them. I talk to my Irish friends just about every other day now.
Yeah.
We're really staying in touch.
You know, the same kind of thing is happening to a lesser degree in the state of Virginia after they elected this psychotic cat lady named Abigail Schamberger, who lied about what she was to become elected, and then the Democrats just came in with all of their arrogance and hubris, went after the Second Amendment in an unconstitutional fashion, came up with a whole bunch of new tax schemes, among other things, and, of course, what a gerrymander. All representation out of Virginia for Republicans. And if I'm not mistaken, General, I believe that Virginia helped found the country. And I believe that move was based on taxation without representation.
It was, and Virginians have typically, except for Fairfax County, Virginians have typically enjoyed their freedom.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm certain that there are wonderfully great professional CIA officers out there, but you're probably very safe if you just don't elect any of them.
Yeah.
Just keep yourself away from any of them.
100%, man. I got to tell you, Blaine, I told my listeners earlier, I moved to Northern Virginia. I moved to Maryland, and I bought a house there. And as soon as I moved into Maryland, I said I regret not moving to Virginia. And so I lived there for 12 years.
You're not saying that now.
No. But you know what? The reaction from Virginians have made me want to fight. Because I was like, you know what? If Schamberger's going to change this state, I'm going to move. And I said, bullcrap. Not going to let this happen. Because, despite all of the nonsense of 2020, you still drive up. There were no street signs changed in Alexandria, Virginia. They're still Washington and Lee and Jefferson. They're proud of it.
Yeah. Well, this is the exact reason that they grew the government, brother, is because when what happens is the government breeds dependency on what? The government.
Yep.
And government employees then tend to be more left and more left and more left. And then when Obama and the Bolsheviks came in, and they didn't even try to have the camouflage pretense of it with their Cat C appointees converting to permanent after Obama left, what you were left with is an armada, an army of these leftists, and that's where the deep state ranks come from. That's why they think it's, the Vindemans of the world think that it's their patriotic duty to go up and throw a rock at a duly elected president's agenda or try to get him impeached. Yeah. Well, Tulsi Gabbard's going to change all that because she just released a big dump, and here it comes.
Oh yes, I heard about this because the report that there was no Russia collusion came out, so the deep state immediately went to impeach Donald Trump, and that's been released today. And there's going to be hell to pay, man. There's got to be hell to pay, sir.
Yes, there has to be hell to pay, and let's remember that the worst thing that can happen to you after you're convicted of treason is not jail.
Yeah. I was just looking at this, too, also. Judicial Watch, 372,000 inactive voters removed from Colorado voter rolls. This is happening all over the country. The Democrats' possibility of stealing election is going by the wayside. Donald Trump has also made it so that mail-in votes have to have a QR code or a UPC code on it, so we know that the person who voted. And the Democrats are also being defunded. They are going after these charitable organizations that have fraudulently taken from the American people to the tune of trillions of dollars and supported Democrats. I mean, it's quite a machine, General. It's quite a machine the Democrats had, right?
And it's getting answered now, and I think we're going to see some astonishing things between now and the end of June. And maybe now that John Thune is all rested up and has his energy back after 2 weeks of holiday, he can see his way clear. getting the SAVE Act on the books and maybe even pay the people who actually do real work in the federal government.
Yeah, I was out in D.C. this weekend. Have you been to D.C. lately?
Well, no. Northern Idaho is the safest distance you could be in our country from D.C., but I won't say when, but I'll be coming there
Dude,
soon.
it's so beautiful here, bro. I mean, I went down to the Cherry Blossom Parade, and my friends from Pittsburgh were like, this is like Disney World. It was, the only garbage I saw were these idiotic stickers that these moron leftists supported by George Soros and Neville Singham put up, boots out of Iran or what, hands off Iran and all that nonsense posted on all the light poles. But the city is beautiful. DuPont Circle, there are people there picnicking, not buying heroin or picking up somebody. It's remarkable. Hey, what did you think?
It's great this time of year.
It is. What did you think of finally Donald Trump trolling the Pope? A lot of people are really upset. A lot of Christians are upset. I've been tell Donald Trump that he shouldn't be concerned calling himself Jesus and all this. I said, if you're gonna troll the Pope after the Pope gets involved in something he shouldn't be involved with his liberal politics. I'm not offended as a Christian. We can do that without murdering people for insulting Allah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And then the other part is, look, if you want to jump into the arena with President Trump and you want to get political, he does not care what costume you wear. He's going at you. Look, this is a bull who brings his own china shop, and he absolutely does not care. Look at the trail of trolling and that he has done and the victims in his wake. If you are gonna jump into the social media pit with President Trump, listen, I wish you well, but you're not going to come out of it okay. There is a reason the man loves to attend UFC fights.
Yes.
He does not back down.
Oh, my God. It was so funny. I had so many people saying, you better tell Donald Trump to stop. And I'm like, no, you know what? I'm a Catholic. I am a Christian. And I understand why he did that, because that Pope needs to shut his mouth when it comes to politics. The last person I listened to who knew anything about politics was JP II, and he helped bring down the Soviet Union.
That's right. Well, the thing about President Trump, and there are times, and I know you share this with me. There are times when I want to take his phone right out of his hand.
I know.
Can I just have that Twitter back from you? Can I have that Truth Social back from you?
Yeah.
How about I edit it a little bit for you?
And he retruthed me twice this weekend. Kaboom.
Kaboom. Kaboom.
I love it.
You're on your way to DM me now.
I hope so, brother. Hey, where can people find your Dangerous Intellectuals podcast?
So we just released a great episode today. It's all about the city of London. There's a paper written by Vivify Mariposa on Substack. And we go into it on Dangerous Intellectuals at dangerousintellectuals.com. Don't miss it.
Dude, a great call today. Thanks for all the information. I appreciate you so much. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Man, he gave us some great information today. My God. Just amazing. Isn't that interesting with Ireland? Isn't that wonderful? Oh, my God. Kick these mother effers out of Ireland. I love it. I love Ireland. I've always had a kinship with the Irish. I'm technically more English than Irish, but I don't know. I've always had a kinship with the Irish. Because the Irish are just... You know why? You know why I like Ireland? Because Ireland is Walmart and Great Britain is Target. There you go. Great Britain is Target, and Ireland is Walmart, and I'm a Walmart shopper. So there you go. Daniel Hoffman over on Twitter says the Irish rock. We do, and we fight. And we all of that. So anyway, I'm Irish, English, and German. Let's see who's watching over here. Got a lot. Man, God, you guys are blowing things up today. Anne Marie, hello. Loving how Newsmax is studiously avoiding any coverage of the dementia-addled geriatric Jeffrey postered of. You're a moron, Anne Marie. You're a moron. And by the way, Donald Trump wouldn't have blockaded Iran if he was somehow unable to be the president. Sure. So go with that. See how well it works for you. Dear God, go away. So tired of you. I'm so tired of you. You know what you are? You're chimpanzees hurling your own feces at the zoo. That's what you Democrats are. You're chimpanzees hurling your feces at the Democrat or at the Republican Party and Donald Trump. Go back to your cage. Eat your bananas and shut up. Dear Lord. Just so done with your noise and your nonsense. Done with your nonsense. You're losing. You're losing. You're losing. There you go. I got to talk. I got to talk. I got to talk. Here we go. This is John Solomon talking to Steve Bannon about the deep state going after Donald Trump.
Listen, at 30,000 foot, sometimes we look at all the different scandals of the Democrats targeting President Trump and his followers and say, well, there's Russia collusion, then there's Ukraine. It was one continuous operation. That is what these documents made clear today. As soon as President Trump was cleared on Russia collusion by Bob Mueller, the deep state went right back to work. A CIA analyst filed a complaint that we now know, as of this morning for the first time, was based only on hearsay evidence, was based on a whistleblower who was caught lying, giving a falsehood to his intelligence community recipients, the people who received his whistleblower, who had clear biases, including the fact that he worked for Joe Biden, Donald Trump's likely rival in 2020. And despite all that, they proceeded ahead and forwarded this allegation, these unfounded allegations from a biased and flawed whistleblower to Congress. And then that exculpatory evidence, that evidence that the president could have used to defend himself at the impeachment or the impeachment trial, was kept from the American public, was kept from Congress. Does not look like even his lawyers knew that. How does that happen? Well, you start with a whistleblower that's tied to Joe Biden. That's what these documents that Tulsi Gabbard declassified at our request and gave to us this weekend show. He was a Joe Biden sycophant. He was actually on trips with Joe Biden to Ukraine. He was an advisor to the president. He disliked Republicans. He made fun of Republicans and badmouthed them. He didn't want them.
Yeah, you know what? Retribution. They made it so Donald Trump wouldn't say the word retribution during the campaign in 2024. So Donald Trump didn't call it retribution. Call it accountability. Well, it is accountability, and there will be retribution for what you did to our country, what you did to our president, what you did to us. Oh, yeah, baby, it's coming. The smackdown is coming, baby. By the way, the Learn and Earn event for Birch Gold is going on right now. Get signed up. Learn more about investing in precious metals. If you don't have precious metals in your portfolio, gold has gone up since 1971 by 12,000%. The dollar has lost 85% of its purchasing power. The last couple of years, we've seen gold go from $2,600 to $5,600. And so what I would suggest is you get signed up for this Learn and Earn event. You sign up for learning the basics of investing in precious metals, free silver on your next purchase, get larger incentives as you go. The more you learn, the more you earn. Text my name, Rob, to 989898. Rob to 989898. No pressure. They're not pressuring you to buy gold. They're just educating you. There you go. You're going to get educated. You're going to have a degree in precious metals and no student debt. How's that sound? Text Rob to 989898. Rob to 989898. Overwhelm the left with joy and patriotism and faith. I can feel it. Can you feel it? And I'll handle the mockery, ridicule, satire. Let Donald Trump handle the butt kicking. Have a glorious day. God bless you. America's founded. Our militaries are doing a great job. Our president. And until tomorrow, which is Tuesday, do not, for the love of God, catch the stupid. I'll see you then. All right, man, I'll see you.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.